What's going on, YouTube? I'm back again with another special video for y'all, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna get right into it. So as y'all can see, this is gonna be a different type of video right here. I'm actually gonna vlog for y'all. All right, I'm going to get my hair cut. So I'm driving to my haircut appointment and everything. I'm gonna be talking to y'all on how to level up your credit, how to go into 2026 with leveled up credit so you can actually start getting approved for whatever it is that you're trying to do. All right, but that's a house, car, business fund, and how to properly structure your credit profile so you can actually start getting approved for what you're trying to do. All right, I know it's about to be 2026. Y'all need to lock in now. Lock in now, because that's so if you cheat now, like January 1st, you're going to be way ahead of the game. So lock in now. You wait till January 1st to actually lock in, you already late, right? Because there's people out there that's locking in right now, right, ready to get this stuff rolling, right, getting approved for stuff, right, getting that business funding that you already want, you always want it. Like, come on now. So, like my post right there, views in the back, right? But like I said, it's gonna be a vlog style video today. I'm gonna be driving to my haircut appointment. I'm just gonna be dropping game on y'all. So I see y'all in the car. All right, y'all, we in the car now, on my way to my haircut appointment and everything. But like I said, y'all looking to, level up your credit so you can get right going into 2026. This video is for you, okay? Like I said, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We almost at 4K followers or subscribers on YouTube, and I'm thankful for every single one of y'all. All right. So you want to level up your credit, right? There's a couple things that you're going to need to do in order to level up your credit profile. All right. And I know a lot of this stuff, if you watch a lot of my videos, a lot of this stuff sometimes can sound repetitive, but that's the key though, right? The key is doing the same thing over and over again and having consistency with it, right? That's the true key. Make sure I have consistency in everything that you do, because how you do anything is how you do everything. So it might sound repetitive because when it comes to building up your credit profile, everybody's process is typically the same. All right, everybody starts at different points, but everybody's process is the same though. Okay. Now, like I always say, first things first, you want to level up your credit, right? You want to get it to the next level. Okay. You have to, all right, make sure that you have primary accounts, y'all. Make sure that you have primary accounts. It's 2025 going into 2026. Okay. We cannot be stuck with having just authorized user accounts thinking that that's going to get you some type of funding. It don't work like that, right? It don't work like that. Okay. Authorized user accounts are supposed to be for icing on the cake purposes only. Cherry on top, right? Meaning if this authorized user gets removed off your credit profile, your credit is still good. All right. If it's not good without the authorized user, then there's no point to putting the authorized user on there anyway. Okay. So that's just that, right? You got to make it make sense, right? Putting the authorized user on your credit profile before you even have it structured properly with primaries is like putting on cologne without even getting in the shower, right? Like it's backwards. You get in the shower first, then you put on cologne, right? It's the same thing. You make sure that your credit profile is good first, and then you want to touch it up with some authorized users, right? That's just how that process works, right? So make sure that you don't solely rely on authorized user Tradeline accounts, because you're going to be unhappy when you get denied. All right, you're going to be unhappy when you get denied, and you're going to be looking at your credit. Oh, well, I got a 720, but you still get denied though. That's the reasoning, because you don't have a built out profile yet with primary accounts. Primary accounts is what you need. All right, the banks got social media too. The underwriters got social media too. They're like, what? These people just adding all these authorized user trade lines on their credit profile, and it ain't even they credit. They just leeching off of somebody else. So how could you use that to say, oh yeah, this is, it might boost your credit score, but it don't boost your credit profile. The profile is what they're looking at. So how do you make sure the profile is on point? Make sure that you have primary accounts. Okay, make sure that you got primary accounts. If you need primary accounts that you can start adding to your credit profile while you in the repair phase, click the link in the description. I'm gonna have accounts for y'all to add to your credit profile. Click the link, and then apply through the link. Okay, it's gonna take you right to the site that you need to actually start building your credit out with primary accounts. Because a lot of y'all probably like, dang, you got bad credit, right? Your credit score is lower, and you don't know what accounts to apply for because you just think you're gonna get denied for everything. No, that's not true. Okay, that's not true. Um, it's some things that you can actually get approved for, and some of the things that you can, or some of the primary trade lines, some accounts that you can get approved for. I'm gonna link them in the description. Okay, start building your credit profile out. You not even in the game until you have 10 plus accounts. Open positive primary accounts that you paying on time every single month. Right? You're not even in the game. Okay, you're not even in the game yet. So you got to make sure that you build it out. Stop worrying about a pretty credit score. Okay, start worrying about a solid, structured credit profile. I'm telling you, you would much rather. She waving at me. um, is this older lady walking across the street? But start focusing on your credit profile. All right, start focusing on your credit profile because that's what's actually going. People don't know how to drive, y'all? What is this? What is he doing? I'm trying to get y'all sauce. I'm trying to drive, and this person just. Anyway, you know, I wanted to do a different style video for y'all so y'all can actually see. I guess more so a day in a life, but I really just be chilling in the crib working though. So I decided I'm going to get my haircut. Okay, let me just talk to y'all in the car. Different scenery so we can switch it up a little bit. But like I said, make sure your credit profile is actually built out. Okay, 10 plus accounts, primary positive accounts on your credit profile. You got to think about it, right? I always give this analogy to my students, people that attend my free classes. You got two people. You got person A, person B. Okay, you got person A, person B. Person A, okay. And you have to lend money to them, person A or person B, with your highest probability of you getting your money back, right? Because you're lending it to them. Person A is paying 3 people on time every single month. Person B is paying 20 people on time every single month. Who you going to trust with the highest probability of you getting your money back? It's going to be person B because they've shown more data. They've shown more history of them paying stuff back on time. So this is exactly how the banks think. All right. And then when I break down analogies to people, they finally understand because so many people is just worried about their credit profile. Their credit score. Excuse me. They worried about their credit score. They not worried about their credit profile. What is this person doing, bro? What is this person doing? Golly. Okay. Like I said, most people is really just focused on their credit score and not their profile. That's why I see people with 720s get denied all the time because they only have 3 accounts. That's not good. All right, that's not good. You out here flexing a 7. Oh, I got a 700 credit, 720, but can't get approved for nothing. What's the point? What's the point? You need to make sure that you can actually get approved for stuff. Right? You would much rather have a 680 with 20 accounts than a 720 with 3 accounts. And as this is assuming all accounts are paid on time, right? Because that's what the banks are looking for. You need something called comparable credit on your credit profile, y'all. Comparable credit. All right, that's what compares, or what's on your credit that compares to what you're actually trying to get approved for.
Free credit repair. Yes, I'm giving free done for you credit repair for all my CGC Credit HQ members. All right. So if you're not a CGC Credit HQ member and you want to become a CGC Credit HQ member, just click the link down in the description and then you can get access to your free done for you credit repair. All right. Now, the done for you credit repair is really just an icing on the cake because inside the CGC Credit HQ, which is my group, I teach you how to fish. So I teach you how to repair credit on your own, right? So you can start helping other people too as well. If that's something that you want to do. I teach you how to build your credit, your personal credit. I teach you how to build business credit. I teach you how to get an LLC and business formation and be structured properly. And I teach you how to get the biggest bag from the banks when it comes to business credit cards. All right, how to get approved for a house, how to get approved for a car, everything. I teach it all inside of CGC Credit HQ. All right. Now the done for you credit repair is just a cherry on top. So if you want that free done for you credit repair and you want to get taught how to fish instead of me just fishing for you, click the link in the description. I'm gonna see you on the inside. Let's go.
What's on your credit right now that compares to what you're actually trying to get approved for? All right, that's comparable credit. That's what the banks are looking for. So if you're trying to get an auto loan, zero down, it's a nice car. Okay, what auto loan have you dealt with before? Or if you're trying to get high limit credit cards on the business side, what does your personal credit cards look like? You know, what does your personal credit cards look like? So that's what that is, right? That's one of the biggest lessons that I always tell people. Look, it's not about the credit score. It's about building that actual profile out. Another thing is when it comes to the credit profile, you want to make sure that your credit is clean. Make sure that your credit is clean. All right. You need to remove those negative items off your credit profile. The bank is not going to trust you, right? You wouldn't even trust you, okay? Because the banks think like us, right? So if somebody came to you asking for money and you see that they owe 5 other people, are you going to give them money? No, you're not going to get them money. So when you got 5 collections and charge-offs and stuff on your credit profile, the banks look like, whoa, they owe these people. So that's why you get denied off rip, right? But you need to also just make sure that your credit is clean. Okay, make sure that you're cleaning your credit profile. All right, make sure you're cleaning your credit profile. Um, yes, make sure you're cleaning your credit profile, y'all. Use consumer law to actually clean. Use consumer law to actually clean your credit. Why is my stuff tweaking? Okay. Use consumer law, right? The FCRA is the only book, I would say, that you need to clean your credit. The only book you need to clean your credit, the FCRA, Fair Credit Reporting Act. It has all the laws you need to repair your credit. Now, quick disclaimer: I'm not an attorney. This is not legal advice. I'm just telling y'all what I've used within my credit repair company over the last 3 years, and have helped over 5,000 people just like you. Right? Repair, build, leverage their credit, so they can actually start getting approved for what they need. All right, now you should be repairing your credit and building your credit at the same exact time. Do not wait. Right? Both of these should be done simultaneously, y'all. Simultaneously at the same time, you're supposed to be repairing your credit and building your credit out. That's just how it works. That's how you expedite results. I know y'all here for fast results. We almost into 2026. Y'all here for fast results. Y'all not trying to wait until a year to have your credit together. No, you're trying to have it together within the next 60, 90, 120 days. You feel me? Like, that's what you're trying to do. So this is the step-by-step blueprint process to actually get that done. Okay? Make sure you're repairing your credit. Make sure you're building your credit out at the same time. A lot of y'all credit profiles is just lopsided. You got way more negative than positive, than wondering why you're not seeing any increase in your score. Because you're not feeding the profile what it needs to be fed. Right? Your score just reflects on your profile. You got to think about it. Somebody with a 500 credit score, the data on the credit profile is making the score 500. Somebody with an 800 credit score, the data in the profile is making the score 800. Right? So it's the profile that makes the score. Focus on that profile. Okay. Another thing too as well, right? What you want to do is you always want to make sure that your credit profile, your credit card utilization is less than 10% at the time of you applying for something. Right now, what I need y'all to understand is that high credit card usage equals low credit score. Low credit card usage equals high credit score. You get penalized for maxing out your credit cards. That's what it is. You get penalized for maxing out your credit cards. Okay? So make sure that you slowly but surely knock down your credit card usage if you have high balances. Because this is 30% of your credit score, 165 points. That's why I literally didn't seen somebody The difference between a 600 and 700 credit score in this case, in this instance, because everybody's profile is different, was them paying down their credit. Their cards were over maxed out, over 100%. Right? They had the money to pay it down. They just didn't know when to pay it down because they didn't know their statement date. Right? But I told them what their statement date was. They knocked off like 90% of that credit card use. They left like a 5-10% balance. Credit score went from a 600 to a 700 once that reported. Literally went from a 600 to a 700 once that reported on the credit profile. Right? That's how important credit card usage is to your credit score, y'all. That's how important it is. So make sure, you do those three things, y'all. You do those three things. Repair your credit, build your credit, knock down your credit card usage. Your score is going to flip upside down. It's going to flip upside down. Literally, it's going to flip upside down. Okay? That's how people are getting out of the 500s, getting into the 800s. Right? Obviously, to get to the 800s too as well, you're going to have a decent amount of credit age, which is history. Everybody that I see with an 800 credit score, right? Or a manufactured 800 credit score, because you can manufacture an 800 credit score if you're young, right? If you're like 25, like me, I'm 25, right? If you 20, 21, 22, you can manufacture an 800 credit score as long as you have money, because you can buy trade lines and do things of that nature, right? But for the people that I see that have a not manufactured 800 credit score, like they literally just grew it from the mud, those people are typically older, 45, 55, stuff like that, because they've been paying their bills on time for a long period of time, and their credit age is 10, 15 plus years. You know what I mean? So that's that. All right. But you can also just manufacture 800 credit score. You need trade lines. I got trade lines too. Um, Inside the academy, I got trade lines. So you can access the trade lines at discounts, and I can have them on there longer than like trade line supply. People be having on there for 60 days. You want them on there for 6 months at a time, I got you. Right. But yes, building out your credit age too. Now the thing is, the credit age is some stuff you can't control. Okay, some stuff you can't control. Like, let's say when this car is paid off, right? Once I pay this car off, right? This the age, right, that I've had this car is going to close, meaning it's going to drop my average credit age, so my score could drop. But that's inevitable. Like, it's going to happen because a loan stops at some point, right? So that's why it's good to have a credit mix, because loans, they close, they always close at some point, right? But what doesn't close? Credit cards. Right? You on time, you're using your credit cards, they will not close, meaning that's going to always build your credit age. If you only have loans, you will never truly build credit age because they always close at some point. When they close, you lose the history with that account. So that's why it's good to have um, credit cards, auto loans, personal loans, right? You want installment and revolving accounts. That's how you actually um, make the comparable credit good, because now you have multiple. It's just like sports. Let's say basketball, right? Somebody that can only shoot is not better than somebody that can shoot, dribble, pass, dunk, rebound, block. You see what I'm saying? So if you have a versatility, if you have versatility and versatile accounts on your credit profile, you're gonna look like you can do everything that that basketball player could do. Right? I love breaking down analogies because that's what makes sense to people, y'all. That's what makes sense to people. So make sure you have a good credit mix. You do all these things, you're going to be able to get funding, a car, apartment, housing, whatever it is that you're trying to do. How do I know? Because I do these things. Chase just approved me for 75K a couple months ago because I know how the banks think. The banks think just like you and me. So if you operate thinking like the bank, you're naturally going to be able to borrow money because you know how they think, because they think like you. It's simple. It's really simple. Um, But yeah, I'm just driving to my haircut appointment, man. Uh, let's drop some game on y'all. Right, I'll drop some more game in a second after my haircut appointment. Um, but yeah, let's work. All right, y'all. So I'm back from getting my haircut. You feel me? Nice and crispy. had to get right, making content and stuff. Got to make sure my appearance is right for the camera. You feel me? Um, but let's get right back into the sauce. So previously, I was going over, different steps that you need to take to level up your credit going into 2026. And I can go more into like business stuff now because I already told you. Because of course y'all trying to get y'all credit up, but y'all trying to make money too. You feel me? So y'all trying to make money. So like I said previously, right? Just a little recap. Repair your credit, building your credit out. All right, that's the first two phases to the level up. All right, it's the first two phases to the level up. And then, right, when you get over into the business side of things, you get over to the business side because once you got a solid structured credit profile, you in the game, right? You in the game. Now, what do you need to do? You need to structure your LLC properly. You really need to structure your LLC properly. All right. So what does that look like? Right. A lot of y'all are getting blacklisted by the banks. Okay. Y'all getting blacklisted by the banks because your LLC is not set up properly at all. All right. So first things first, get you a business phone number. Okay. Get you a business phone number. Go to ringcentral.com. That's what I use. Right. I do have a business phone number within my CRM too, but you can start off with Ring Central. Get some water. Start off with Ring Central though. All right. Get you a 1-800 number. Get you a 1-800 number from Ring Central. Boom. That's that. Next. All right. Get you a website. All right. Go to GoDaddy, go to Shopify, go to Wix, whatever. Get you a website because you're gonna need some type of presence online. You think the bank is gonna give you 75K without any type of presence online? That don't make no sense. Right? You need some type of presence. You need some type of presence. That's just how I go. Okay. So go to Shopify, Wix, GoDaddy, your CRM, whatever. Get you a website. All right. Also, what you want to do is get you a business email. Okay. Get you a business email. What you want to do is, yeah, get you a business email. What you want to do is go to Google Domains. Google Domains is now Squarespace, though. I believe Squarespace bought them out. So go to Google Domains, go to Squarespace, get you a business email. All right, this should look like info@yourbusinessname.com or info@yourbusinessname.net. Stop using Gmails. That is a personal email. You want a business email. You need to be structured like Walmart, Target, Best Buy. That's what I tell everybody. Walmart, Target, Best Buy. Okay, Walmart, Target, Best Buy. All right, you need to be structured like them on paper in order for the banks to take you serious. You feel me? So that's that. All right, that's that. Another thing is if you have a digital business, right, you're 100% online. What you want to do is that you want to go to Regis.com. Regis.com will allow you to get a virtual address for your business. All right, if you're a brick and mortar, then you don't need a virtual address because you have a brick and mortar address. So you want to make sure that if you're a digital business, make sure that you have Regis. Okay, you can get a business address through Regis. It's going to show that your business is out of the office. All right, that's what it's going to show. All right, this is how you structure a LLC properly. Okay, because you don't want to be blacklisted. Another thing is too, make sure your LLC name is general, y'all. Make sure it's general because if it ain't general, you might get blacklisted due to being in a high risk industry. Okay, so for example, y'all know my name is Elijah Porter. So let's say, for example, okay, example LLC names that you should use, right? For example, like I said, my name is Elijah Porter, so I'm gonna do Porter Enterprises, Porter Worldwide, Porter Solutions. You don't know what the business does based off of that name, right? So you can do that. That's good, right? So the last thing that you want to do is to set up an LLC and your specific name is on there, right? Like Porter Credit Repair, Porter Real Estate, Porter's Fix and Flips. You don't want to do that because now you're categorized to one industry and the bank might deem you risky, which is going to lower your funding. So make sure your name is general. All right. Once you make sure your name is general, then when you make the LLC, like when you file it, it's going to ask you, what is your NAICS code? NAICS. What is your NAICS code? Okay. Your NAICS code needs to be general as well. It has to be a marketing industry, consulting industry, something like that. Okay. Like I said, you do not want to be in real estate. You can be in real estate, but make sure it's the consulting part of real estate, right? Even if you do actually do fix and flips, don't put that as your NAICS code or in your name, right? Make sure you're consulting or marketing, because guess what? You do real estate, but you can also teach other people how to do real estate. You can also market for real estate, right? So make sure that the bank knows that portion, right? Make sure that they know that portion. They don't know anything else because you want to maximize your funding. Consulting and marketing companies are low risk and it will naturally maximize your business funding. All right. But yeah, that's that. You want to make sure that that LLC is structured properly. That's pretty much how you properly structure an LLC. And from there, build your relationship with the banks. Okay, build your relationship with the banks. Build your relationship with the banks, y'all. Because when you build a relationship with the bank, that bigger or better your relationship is with that bank, the more funding that they will probably give you. Because you got to think about it. Let's say you go create a checking account at the bank and you put money in there. You're giving them money to invest, because y'all that know money, y'all know what the banks do with your money. They literally take your money and invest it, right? They take your money and invest it. So you're literally giving them money to invest. You're giving them money to invest. That's going to strengthen the relationship. That's going to strengthen the relationship, and then they're going to ultimately be more prone to give you a higher limit. All right. Go create a relationship with the banker in there. So go in there, meet the business banker, right? Meet the business banker and then go create a checking account with them. I know it's 2025 going into 2026, everything is digital, right? But sometimes bringing, person to person experience can benefit you better than just doing everything online, right? Because then what you're going to do is that you're going to ultimately end up pushing your applications, right? Pushing your application through them. Okay, you're gonna push your application through the the uh, the business banker that you got a relationship with. Okay, and then another thing is that you can actually request your limits. You can actually request your limits. I did not get 75K from Chase by just going to Chase.com and applying. No, got a relationship with a Chase banker, a business banker at Chase, and I pushed my application through her, and she asked me how much did I want, and I requested 75K. Now, since I know how the banks think, I know I was gonna get approved, right? Because I know what's required on the credit profile. I knew I was gonna get approved, right? Uh, but it's up for the underwriter to approve or undercut it, right? So that is literally how you level up, y'all. It's really a three-step process. You need a solid structured credit profile, right? A um, properly structured LLC, and then build your relationship with the banks that you're trying to get funding from. All right, and then once you do this, make sure you strategically build the relationship with the banks though, because you want to know where they pull from. You got three bureaus: Experian, eFast, TransUnion. You don't want to overload on one bureau. But yeah, what I was saying is that you don't want to overload on one bureau, because then you're gonna have too many inquiries on one bureau and it's gonna look bad. So strategically pick who your building relationships based on where they pull from too as well, so you can line up your inquiries perfectly so that you can spread them out, right? But that's how you get to the back. That's how you level up. That's really how you level up. And then you go ahead, take the funding, and then go blow your business up with it, right? Go scale your business, right? Invest in ads, marketing, inventory, delegation, system, software, coaching,
All right. If you want me to coach you, I can coach you. Especially if you have a digital business. Oh yeah, let's scale that up. Let's scale that up. Um, let's scale that up easy. So yeah, but that's really how you level up, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in. I try to do more vlog style videos for y'all. I mean, it wasn't really like a vlog, it ain't like I was outside recording myself, but it's different scenery though, you know what I mean? So, if y'all like the video, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Check out the links in the description if you want my help. And yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.